Africa is regarded as a poor continent. Taking, for instance, Burundi is the poorest country in Africa. Individuals build families. Families constitutes a community. The community comes together to form the state. The state aggregates to form regions. And when regions come together, they form the nation. In other words, a nation is broken down into regions, like Nigeria, for instance. Nigeria is broken down into northern and the southern region. And then in the regions, you have the southeast, you have the south-south. And then in the southeast, we have Imo State, we have other states, and the rest of them. When you now come to Imo State, it's broken down into local governments, the 27 local governments in Imo State, broken down into communities. The communities come into families, and then the families comes into individuals. The point is that the smallest unit of a nation is an individual. That goes to say that you are a nation. Can you tap yourself and say, I am a nation? So when we say a nation is poor, when we say a nation is corrupt, it means that the individuals in that nation is poor. The individuals in that nation is corrupt. Let's say Africa is regarded as a poor continent. Taking, for instance, Burundi is the poorest country in Africa. Burundi's GDP, I'm going to sound a little technical, is less than $4 billion, the whole nations put together. That means that almost everybody in that country is poor. Let's look at Nigeria. Nigeria's GDP is standing at $514 billion. That's Nigeria. Nigeria is regarded as one of the biggest economy in the nation. Yet there are still lapses and things that are lagging or missing in this country. So looking at Nigeria, how big Nigeria is, I've been able to dissect it into different segments. If you look at Nigerian GDP now and say, okay, what makes up Nigeria? When we talk about GDP, we mean the contribution or the value of a nation in layman's understanding. You break it down into four. We have number one, the agricultural sector in Nigeria that contributes 24% to the national GDP. We have the oil and gas. The almighty oil and gas contributes only 9%, and 70% of our foreign exchange earnings. We now have the manufacturing sector and production, which is roughly 14%, and there's the services, which is about 50% and above. It is you and I, because you are found in one industry or the other. It's either you are in manufacturing, or you are in oil and gas, or you are in teaching. You are found somewhere within this cycle. So what is your individual contribution as a person? What are the things you do that contributes to the building of our nation? So it's not all about saying this person did that person did that. What are you doing as an individual? Before I conclude, I want to just do a little comparative analysis of course, Nigeria and one other country. I decided to choose South Korea. South Korea and Nigeria had similar experiences. As of 1960, South Korea experienced war, the same with Nigeria. South Korea as a nation was colonized, the same like Nigeria. South Korea is an agro-base. That means their level of production as of then was based on agriculture. South Korea was also experienced some level of corruption. So we stood almost at the same bay with South Korea. And it is said that South Korea was poorer than DRC, the Republic of Congo, as of 1960s. South Korea was poorer. Then fast forward, 2022. Congo is still one of the poorest countries in the world as I'm talking to you. Why South Korea has evolved to become the leading nations, is now an industrialized nation like your Samsung and your LG, and the cars you use now is being exported by South Korea. So what did South Korea do? That's the question. What policy did South Korea adopt? What methodology did they apply? What system, what structure did they build that enabled them to transit from an agro-based economy to become one of the largest economy in the world, the 11th largest economy in the world? That their GDP per capita, when we say your individual contribution, moved from $200 per annum to almost $31,000 per annum. What did South Korea do that changed them? What system, what method, what process, what protocol did they observe that brought about their transformation. And that's the question we have been asking. That it's not all about the government policies. It's not all about calling about, if you were here this morning, we took the old, brought back national anthem. Because some persons stood there and said, this is what we do. It's not all about the policy. It is the individual contributions of the nation that led to the transformation of that country. So it is my own contribution. It is your own contribution. It is our collective contribution that makes for a national development. Somebody say, I am a solution. Say, I am a solution. We are solutions. Together, we become national solutions. Can you put your hands together once again?